We'll do a sound check. Testing. Testing. Grace, mercy, and peace are yours in abundance. I bet it's not even on. It is not even on, but you can tether to my phone. Because I'm streaming this broadcast of our seminar, basically to archive it too. There's two networks. You want G Home, which is not even on. So what I'm going to do is tether my phone, and you'll have access to mine. Network, hotspot, tethering, password, show path. There we go. Go to Moto G, do a refresh, and it'll magically appear. Thank you, Jan. Jess has been instrumental with our new addition to the family. Yes. Yeah. She told us that we should not let the dog eat wood because it can kill the dog. And she also said, don't carry the dog out when it has to go pee. And she said, don't make it so that the dog has to have cut grass, or else the dog won't pee either. Is that what Hookie's like? Oh, who's it? Willow. Willow.
Yes, she can't find the snapper. Oh, I see. I forgot to leave a space here.
Go to... Oh. You can try it. Is your husband better?
Yeah, he's coming. Crayons.
Oh, look at you. Thank you.
And markers.
Perfect. Very good. You could just throw them right there and I won't forget them. Yeah. You're okay. See this. Let's go cancel, join, that one, password, and then let's go 081812345 join, and bam, you're in. Tom? How's it going? We have some light refreshments for you.
I love these things, man. Seriously, these are one of my
There's
favorites.
cheesecake.
No. Water, I'll take.
Water? Did you get water? We will let you. I'll munch on my cheesecake a little bit. I'm going to see Lou Scott tomorrow. Mm-hmm. Awesome. Yeah, it's kind of a little house. I mean, it's... Mm-hmm. Wow. When all 5 of my little kids were in there, I was horrified they're going to break something. Because Luke was a little ball of, similar to your grandson. Not bad by any means, but yeah. That's okay. I was that child, so. We do grow up, sort of. I mean, a little bit. Awesome. Welcome. Yeah, I am broadcasting, so I turned off the Wi-Fi. Yeah, otherwise you could tether to my phone. Mary's is tethered to my phone too. I'm not sure how much bandwidth will it handle, but you're welcome to try to tether. Well, if you look up your, hey, we will inform you. If you look up for a wireless network, that one will be there, and then you type in that password. We're going to talk about wireless networks too. This is kind of fun. I've never done a presentation on anything but theology. You don't have a lot of the problems. Right. You're good. Well, let's get started. I think everyone is here. We are at Social Media Security. Welcome to all visitors who are watching. All of the slides will be posted online, so you don't need to take furious notes. I'll happily give them. And there'll be a chance for questions at the end. And of course, we will try to work through your individual. I don't know, a lot of you brought your computers. That's great. Anything you want to try to do, I will try my best. Just to kind of give you an idea about the sourcing. My little brother has his master's in IT security. He's worked for a bank. He currently works for Honeywell Corporation in Minnesota. And he is a white hat hacker who breaks into doorbells. That's what he always tells me. I'm sure he does other stuff. But anytime, so I went through the agenda for tonight, and he said that'll be more than enough. So we'll see. So if you have any other questions that I cannot answer, I will try to find a resource for you. Yeah, you can just set it there. It should be good. All right, the quickie quiz. Thank you, Jan. That's okay. The quickie quiz. How many of you have been hacked on social media before? I know some of you have. Garland was just hacked last week. Yeah. And I'm going to talk about what happened to him. And we'll go through that. And all of them, I have real life examples. I tried to use me as much as possible because I've seen a lot of it. I've done a lot of the dumb stuff too, so that's part of how I've learned. 2, how many of you know someone who has been hacked on social media? Yeah, so if it hasn't been you, okay, yeah, thanks. 3, true or false? Data protection is harmless nuisance and not really that important. That's false, yeah. This is a big deal. When I first got here 17 years ago, all of you know who Roland is? He, at the time, owned his own computer store, and he tried so hard to get this young new pastor to care about virus protection and emails, and I just did not care until one day I opened up a phishing email, and I lost everything. And it was just, and I called him, I said, Roland, you were right. And that's not what he wanted. I mean, that doesn't really give him any comfort, but yeah. So it does matter. True or false, if someone really wants to hack you, there's nothing you can do. Relatively true. That's why my brother is gainfully employed. Quite handsomely, actually. Because banks and other people hire him to stop other people from getting in. So he spots vulnerabilities, and he knows when someone's trying to get in. But basically, if they have enough money and time, he can get into anywhere. And if you really want to know how to get around some of the stuff where I say, just do this and you'll be safe, he said basically there's a way around almost everything. So that is kind of disappointing. Roadmap of where we're going, you have it in front of you, of course. Social media security is what we're doing. We're going to hit phishing, scareware, spam, the Nigerian scams, password hacks, spoofing. That's the social media security side, but I added a little bit more because I think you have to talk about network security. You have to talk about passwords. And then we'll have time for your questions, of course. And then if you want help, you can do it. So let's get into the first topic, phishing. This is an actual email I received on Sunday. I have a 17-year-old email account that I don't use for anything except a couple synod things are still connected to it. You know how you tell people, please don't use this email anymore, and they do anyway? And it's stuff from our church body, so I said, okay, whatever. So I leave it, and I check it once a week or so. And this was in there. How do you know that this is not legitimate? Yeah. If you check the URL, what else is wrong about this email? Good. I get ones from BB&T all the time. I don't have BB&T. I get one from Wells Fargo. I don't have Wells Fargo. Yeah, all those things are wrong. The other thing is that will Spectrum ever ask you to verify your identity? Never, ever will you get an email saying this. In fact, if you do get an email like this, call Spectrum if you have Spectrum and just say, did you send this out? And they will tell you the truth. Because I'll get into it, but once in a while, I do get calls from my credit card company. I'll be traveling in Wisconsin and Minnesota, and they'll go, something's going on here. And I'm like, yes, I'm traveling. You're supposed to tell your credit card when you're going to be traveling. I don't. But, yeah, so they will contact you, and that's okay. But if you're not sure, always call them. Phishing, fake message trying to get you to give sensitive information. These are not new. These are 30 years old, super old. Bank's website is such a will never send an email asking for your information. Banks' websites will ask you to contact them. That happens. Be careful you independently contact them using a number, email, chat. I like chat personally because you can record everything. And that's good. That is phishing. Any questions? Moving right along. Scareware. Oh, you've been hacked. Yeah, this is terrible. We're going to zoom in. Hello, I have looked at you for several months. In fact, you've been infected with malicious software through an adult site that you visited. Oh, no. If you are not familiar with this, I will explain it. The Trojan virus gives me complete access and control over a computer or other device. This means, yada, 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 go down, transfer 600 euros to my Bitcoin address. You got to buy Bitcoins and do this, and it's terrifying. Now, yeah, this is not legitimate, okay? This is called scareware. It's just someone who says this because did something accidentally or purposely, that's a different seminar altogether, show up on your screen? Maybe. And so then you get this, so they send it to everybody. That's why it's scareware. It's not real, and so you could just push delete. But that's where it's from. Tom?
So, one time, my computer just got a red screen from ransomware.
Similar, very similar.
I didn't know it was ransomware at the time. The process is a little different. They give you a number to call. It says it's a Microsoft viewer or something.
Sure.
You call them, they want to put their own malware, or they want to put their own security on your
Right.
computer, which is bogus.
Yes.
And
They're going to milk you.
But they locked my computer if it wouldn't work. So I had somehow they'd gotten into my system
Yep.
through something. And they implanted the malware,
Yeah.
ransomware, malware, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
I checked the computer, got a new one.
Yeah. Well, you could wipe it. I mean, yeah.
Well, I tried wiping it.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I actually had a professional do it. They took it and he says, I get a new one because they pretty well ruined everything on the computer.
Yeah, it's possible.
And they found some of my personal information on the dark web.
Yeah.
So
Right.
we just did some changes, got a new computer and a new
That's frustrating. Yeah. If you were watching and you didn't know what Tom was talking about, he mentioned ransomware, which is very similar. And that's where some kind of a file or Trojan program takes over your computer, and then they threaten you that you won't get it back unless you pay them money, which is... yeah, right.
We have your bank account records. I said, just try to do it.
Yeah.
They tried to do it, I couldn't get it.
Right. But and it's horrible because a lot of people fall victim to this.
Yeah,
It's kind of scary. So a fake message threatening extortion is basically what scareware is. Yeah. Stay away from porn and similar sites. That's your safest bet. Even then, sometimes you'll just accidentally open up something, or you get an email, and you open up an attachment, and then that's how it happens. If you do not know who it's from, and it does not look legitimate, do not do. So Gmail and a lot of those servers already check every file that goes through. So a lot of that's been cut down, frankly. But I don't know if Spectrum does it or not. I mean, yeah, if you get something that does not look good, don't open it. And there's so many ways around it. So like I didn't show it, but I can take you into my email. Right now, at the super old email address I was telling you about, I have probably 10 emails from random gibberish with a PDF that's random gibberish. And if you try to open it because you're curious or dumb, yeah. Right. Yeah. So ignore it. Do not be afraid. You're going to be okay. Use trusted software. That's the other place you can get it. And that's scareware. Anything else? It's frustrating, Tom, I know. And the number of hours you take. It's like you've been robbed. Right. Yeah. It's very frustrating. Yeah. All right. Spam is not necessarily bad, but it's a nuisance. And on social media, this is my PSA for, Mary Selmer is a wonderful lady. Her daughter plays on my daughter's volleyball team, and she sent me this message. She wants to paint Nighthawk on my driveway for $40. Do I really want the North Guilford High School football Nighthawk on my driveway? Probably not, but she just sent it to everybody on her Facebook. Okay, whatever. But this is spam. This is just one little itty-bitty example of it. It's junk mail. Now, the reason I bring it up, even though it's often not malicious, this is what I think is bad. And especially from my angle, what I get is, hey, if you love 10 people, send it to them. Or if you think I'm your friend, send it to 10 people. Yep, I'm not anymore. Click. I mean, I'm not going to unfriend them, but I just don't care. And only once has any of you ever asked me, hey, did you pass that on to 10 people? No, that's spam. I don't do that. So it's not, I love all of you, but I'm not going to pass that on. So that's just what I'm going to do. Can be useless scareware with no harm beyond spam, and this is what, I just saw this one too. This is a real threat, and it could be real or perceived, and they say send it to everybody in that friends that you know, because so that way everybody will know it. Don't do that. Sometimes it's garbage, sometimes it's not, sometimes it's conspiracy, and people just like seeing these things run around the whole world over how many times. Yeah, Tom. Yeah. And that might be next. Yeah. No, yeah, Tom, you are. Tom just mentioned if you get a friend request that you don't recognize, which I get all the time too. And once in a while I'll say, Jenna, do you know this person? Because there's 950 kids at that school. She goes, nope, delete. So, yeah. Don't send to friends or anyone else. That is spam. Next. Nigerian scam. Oh, these are my favorite, okay? Because they're hilarious sometimes. Once in a while, I'll pass them on to Nate just because he appreciates the humor sometimes that I find in them. They're just awful. What's really, really sad about the Nigerian scam is that these are as old as email. And a lot of people have fallen for these. I mean, yes, the FBI still gets a lot of reports because there's people who get an email and they see this, and you're going to hear me say they use their Christianity against them. That you are to be shrewd as snakes and innocent as doves, our Lord says. You do not need to fall for this. Let's zoom in. What's a couple red flags? There's no one around the world that wants to give you an inheritance fund. I'm sorry. And I am in good faith and with trust waiting for your urgent, capitalized respond and maximum cooperation for more details. That's not horrid English, but sometimes it is. Yeah. Goofy spaces, pieced together, it's just brutal. This one's actually pretty good compared to some that I've seen. Yeah. Nigerian scams, wildly successful. I know, it's terrible. There's no one that wants to give you money from around the world. Never give your bank account number. Some people think that checks should be abolished because your bank account number are right at the bottom of every check you use. Don't let them use your Christianity against you in anything, in any case. That bothered me when I first got here. People would call asking for this or that. If you were a Christian, you'd help me with my rent. What I know? My Lord wants me to take money out of my 5 children and out of the mouths of them and give it to you? Okay. Password hacks. We're going to table this one. How? We'll cover this in a minute. 2-step authentication is the magic word, and we're going to walk you through it. Okay? If you or anyone tries to log in, a message is sent to your phone. There's a way around this too if you really want to know how, but for the most part, it is dynamite, and this is your best bet. So we're going to come back to password hacks. Next one, this is what I see a lot. That is, so spoofing. This is, in fact, my Uncle Stanley's page. Okay? Look at that picture. He is standing next to beehives. Now, if you click on that picture, you get this. Now, you copy it, you go into Facebook, and you make an account called Stanley Schleusner. And for the picture, the profile picture, you use the one that you just copied. And then you get this. Facebook has removed it because it was garbage, but it was basically, hey, I got a great deal for you, give me money here. I said, great, tell me more, how was your birthday? And then I start making up names and messing with them. No, but your son Bob was talking with me at convention. He mentioned Billy was sick. I'm sorry to hear that. Prayers for improvement. He says, yeah. If he doesn't improve, do you think Allah will have mercy on his soul? I'm just messing with my uncle at this point. And then, yes. Oh, instantly.
So did you say something that made it clear that it wasn't him?
As soon as he wanted me to invest in a pyramid scheme, yeah, it was pretty obvious. And then when I whip out Bobby and Bill, who don't exist, and then I hope Allah has mercy on their soul, and he was right along with it. And he is in our fellowship at St. Paul's, Toma, Wisconsin, so. Well, I don't know. And so okay. So spoofing, this is what you do, because I've had to do this twice in the last month with like members and family. That thing, right down here, something's wrong, okay? So this is just a Facebook message. Mary Summer did nothing wrong, I didn't do this. That's where you want to go. Something's wrong. Something's wrong. That's where you start. You go to other, hacked. And Facebook takes over. And they will research. And they'll shut them down. And they say delete them as a friend. Now, I was told if you don't, and if you befriend them, then they can see all of your friends, and then they can keep on doing this spoofing. And it's really hard to stop that, unless people close their profile. And you can do that on Facebook. I don't, because this is my business. I am friendly and I'm online. And I need to be on Instagram, I'm not. But this is, Marjorie, I don't know if I bet you I could delete the conversation. I guess yeah, oh yeah, people do that. Yeah, there's a member just on Sunday said that she got off Facebook because she had to. No, you can delete your account, and then you just wait a while, and then if you want to get back on, you can. Well, you can do whatever. I know people who have multiple. My little brother has multiple Facebook accounts. My little brother has multiple emails. In fact, he would say, never use more than 2 accounts with 1 email. Because what if they hack that email? And so my dad, my little brother was not happy. My dad got hacked. So you know what he did? He made up an email. I'm going to show you different password managers. They'll make up a gibberish password. he used that as his name. I said, Dad, why'd you do that? He goes, 'cause so no one can find me ever. I'm like, I said, I can't find you. And so I added it to my address book, and so now when I type in John in my Outlook, it shows, the gibberish shows up, and I can email my dad. But I get it. He was as frustrated as Tom. I mean, it's emotionally, yeah, it's awful. So in spoofing, it's a copy of a site. Yeah, okay, here's the other thing. Well, we'll get to it at networks, but you can copy anything. And my little brother showed me, it's called a pineapple. And it's like a router, only it's malicious. Yeah, so you've heard. Yeah, it's awful. This can be tricky, because I thought it was my Uncle Stanley. Just the picture, Uncle Stanley, like I thought I was his friend. Oh, whatever. And then I see that. I'm like, oh, okay, Uncle Stanley. Report to the authorities, Facebook. Kind of a horrifying story. Tom Clarkson, you all know. He, in many ways, if you see him, give him a hug. So much that goes on that is good about our church, tech-wise, is his fingerprints. He had his identity stolen and the credit card numbers were taken. And he knew who it was, he could prove it, and he went to the police and they did not care and they would not follow up. And he was so mad. He wanted to hire a private investigator. Nobody cared because the banks don't care. And they say it's a victimless crime. It's not, obviously. But yeah, it's one of those things that just happens and they just write it off. It is awful. Marjorie, I agree. Yes. Yeah, dealing with any kind of bank or lost card, I hate it. All right, network security. How many of you have been to Starbucks and gotten on the Wi-Fi? Yeah, don't do. Yeah, but a lot of people do, right? A lot of people do. Or the mall has free Wi-Fi. That's wide open. You can go in Panera. Yeah. When you go on there, which of these should you not go on? Well, hey, let me ask this. What could you do without any harm on a wide open network? Yeah. What would be harmless activity? Because I don't want to. A lot of times, my kids will use their social media with their phone, and they'll go find free Wi-Fi. And I say, you have limitless data, don't do that. But whatever. So sometimes they have done that in the past. I think it's relatively benign. However, never, ever, ever, ever do business on there. You're going to hear me say this. But number one, if you have a home network, lock it down. Do any of you have a wide open network? If not, I will pay you a visit since you're a member of my church, and I will show you how to lock down your router. Okay?
By that you mean,
Yes. You got to tell someone the key to get onto your router. If it is open, it's awful. That's awful. Because then you could be liable for their use. I don't know exactly what the laws are about that, but Church Mutual did tell us that if we have ours wide open and someone's doing something nefarious using our Wi-Fi, it is our problem. And so we locked it down. So on your router, there's like a guest feature. No, that's different. That's a completely separate. So in that router, that keeps it separate. From what I understand, I guess I'd have to look at your router, but that is my understanding. Because there are some businesses that have that guest network, which is like an open one. It does, and that's a very nice feature. But so let me just get down the line. Don't auto-connect, meaning you won't even know you're connected. That's what's dangerous. And my little brother said, Wi-Fi is not as big of a deal, but your Bluetooth is wide open. That Bluetooth stack is vulnerable. He said you can hack that pretty easily. And so, number one, you have to be that malicious guy. Are there a lot of those people? No, not really. He said if you go up to a gas station, they can put a little Bluetooth card reader over the top of the card reader at the gas station. So he said when you walk up to it, before you put your card in it, just yank on it. And if it comes off, My goodness. He said, because Bluetooth does not have that long a range, something is there taking all that information, and you go tell the store or tell somebody. I've never seen it before. He's seen it once. So we're in a pretty small pond here in Winston-Salem. But yeah, so turn off your auto-connect. It'll be safer that way, because then you won't even know you're connected. Don't access business-sensitive websites on public Wi-Fi. Don't do your banking. Don't do your medical stuff. Don't do that on a public Wi-Fi. That's just a bad idea. If you want to go to Gmail and check your email, even that could be bad. But like my kids just play games. If you need your Farmville hit or whatever. Do disable file sharing. I think that is disabled normally on all Windows devices. Use HTTPS. Our website, again, this is, Hug Tom Clarkson. We are locked down, so you are safe. That's why we take credit card payments on our website now, which is awesome. And so we are safe. That means it's very difficult to hack our website or get into it. So any transaction with it is safe. Do log out of accounts. So after you're done using Facebook, and this is more funny than it is malicious. But so my wife will use Facebook, and my mother-in-law will be visiting us for a week, and she'll go onto the computer not knowing that she's on Jenna's account. And then she'll comment as Jenna on like 10 different things, and then she'll see it, and Jenna will be like, Mom, stop using my... And so, yeah. So log out of your account. Just get into a habit of doing that. I know it's a pain. I mean, you got your phone, so why would you log out on your phone? But on a computer, especially one that the whole world uses, it's a bad idea. Any questions on network security? Yeah, Kat. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, VPN, a tunnel. I was not going to bring up VPNs. VPNs are a wonderful way to go because that's a whole other world that you are protected now. That means to get to you now they got to hack into your VPN to see anything that's going on. The downside is that VPNs can be slower. But that means it's going somewhere else. My dad said it goes overseas somewhere and then back to him. Whatever, Dad. But yeah, so VPNs are safer. Yeah, that's different, yeah. In fact, my dad at my house would not use my Wi-Fi, even though I assure you it's quite safe, because he didn't trust it, so he used his VPN. A virtual private network, Marjorie, that's a great question. A VPN is a virtual private network. Most companies will insist that you use it because they can't afford you not. If they get in, there's so much, especially, are you banking? You're banking, aren't you? Oh, okay. Yeah, especially in the banking industry, but most companies. Yeah, well, Syngenta, good grief, that's patents and... You're not supposed to have your Bluetooth on just randomly because you can get hacked with it. Again, what are the chances in Winston-Salem, North Carolina? No. That has Bluetooth, I bet money. Yeah, you might not have it turned on. But any tablet, that one looks like a nicer one. Yeah, a lot of the newer computers do, some don't. This one does not. This one's like 5 years old. The Bluetooth stack is just pretty... It's easy to get into. And I don't know what the vulnerability is. I'd have to ask Phil. I don't know. I'm not even sure. Yeah, right. But so they're not going to hack your car. But so what do you have on your phone that they could access through your Bluetooth? I'm not sure. Could they get your contacts? Could they? I'm not sure. Every year, and this was 2 weeks ago, there is a hacking convention in Vegas, and Phil was out there. And the first year he went there, he went to 2 different booths. He turned off his phone, put it in his pocket, and bought a new one. And it's just a cheap burner phone, so he could text his wife. Because he said, there's no way I'm walking around a hacking convention. So, yeah, that would have been dumb, because that's what they do for fun. Especially at a hacking convention, but yeah. Absolutely, yeah. And so I have my Bluetooth on all the time, Marjorie. Yeah, but so if you're worried about going into Grand Central Station in New York and someone might hack you, or I don't even know. I forgot you. Well, maybe think about being more, because the chances of having ne'er-do-wells in New York are higher than Winston-Salem. I'm going to say that. So that is network security. Now for the fun one. Passwords. This is April 2019. The top 10 common passwords. Which ones look like you see a common thread? Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. So, how long would it take me or someone a little savvy just to try those? That's hideous. And of course, the famous example was 2 years ago, 3 years ago. John Podesta's email was hacked. What did he have for his password? Password. The DNC? Yeah. And the reason why my little brother no longer works at a bank was because the chairman of the bank had his password as password. And when he got hacked, guess whose fault it was? My little brother's. Yeah. He said it paid really well. It was pretty easy, too, until that happens, and he's like, I'm out of here. I'm not dealing with this. No. And you're going to hear me at the end of the password chunk. He would say, never use the same password more than once. Never use more than, so I have 5 emails. I probably use most of them with just the 2 emails. I try to separate out church and normal life. Otherwise, my inbox is just a complete mess. Because I get probably 200 emails a day. Jenna's is worse. But, yeah, because my church is little. Her school keeps on getting bigger. Yeah. Some fun facts. 3.8 million passwords hacked daily. This is from Church Mutual. And churches get hacked too. In fact, there was a time, if you recall, we wanted to put our church directory on the internet. And the Church Mutual guy has been amazing, by the way. I got to tell you. He lowered our rates because he said we had things covered that we didn't have anymore from like 15 years ago. That was, I think, Roland. I don't know who sat down with me. One of the councilmen sat down with me, and the Church Mutual guy. He just begged and pleaded with us not to do it because he said that is one of he ranked the claims Church Mutual gets, and one of them is identity theft. Because here's the thing. If Bob from Bob's Pizza World calls you and wants to sell you something, you're going to go click. If Marjorie Parsley from Star Bethlehem Lutheran Church calls and wants your help with something, that sounds way more. And it's not Marjorie. But you haven't seen Marjorie in a while. Was that Marjorie's voice? I didn't want to be rude. He said it is extremely powerful when people do this. So he said, so you will never see our church directory online. Oh, did it? I didn't know that, yeah. Well, he said this happens a lot, and that's one of their biggest claims, is identity theft from churches. And that's their problem. All right. 81% of hacking is from stolen or weak passwords. Easy to guess, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. What should you not use in a password? I suppose I could show the previous screen, right? Don't you do any of that, okay? That's bad. Well, yeah, okay, so good. All the dumb ones. Your birthday's bad. What else is bad? QWERTY, if you look at a keyboard, QWERTY. Just go click. Yeah. Or if you're a VeggieTale fan, that was the name of the computer. What else should you not use in your passwords? What about grandkids? Children's names. So my mother-in-law was hacked repeatedly on Facebook, and I said, what is your password? Well, it's a combination of all my grandkids. Okay. Her Wi-Fi was wide open too, and Yeah, and the neighbor said that she was always on her Wi-Fi, and she didn't really care because she never hardly used her internet. But I'm like, okay, we need to. This is just bad. So we fixed that. What should you use in a password? Numbers, crazy characters, capital letters, lowercase letters. Yeah. A lot of them do require that. What's frustrating for me are the ones that will only let you use like letters and numbers. I'm like, are you kidding me? In 2019, I can only use letters and numbers. But yeah. So this is where you're going to hear me plug these. LastPass and Dashlane are the two big ones. If you type in password managers, 10 things will show up. My little brother said that these two are the ones he always sees at the top. I started using LastPass about 6 months ago. It has taken over my world. It is so nice. Just to give you feedback, I told my kids to use it too. These are password managers, meaning so when you do this, it will go in and it can harvest everything that you use in Google, because Google has its own password manager. Phil said that one's not horrible. But guess what happens if they have access to your Google account? And they have all that too. Now you could say, could they hack your password manager account? Well, they could, but they'd have to know which password manager you're using. Whereas instead of just your email, which can get hacked pretty easily too, it's not quite as simple. Thing about LastPass, I love it because I pull up my phone, I go into LastPass, I use my thumb, and I'm in, and I can see any password. I can see bank account information, and I have it all on there now. I'm all in. My eldest refused to use it because after 2 weeks he got tired of it so I got a new dog, right? You know what the dog does when I'm eating? It follows me around. Well, it doesn't anymore because he knows that I will never give it anything, ever. Guess what my kids did? Yeah, look, he's so cute. So it follows him around. LastPass will follow you around everywhere you go. Want me to remember this? Want me to remember this? Want me to remember this? Nate hated it. He goes, I can't use this. I'm over it. I love it. Yes. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's easy. Well, you'd have to use it to actually see how it does it. But it does. It knows. So on LastPass, I could show. Yeah. Well, it is an app, a Chrome extension. It works nicely. No. Well, it'll say, do you want me to? You have to let it do that, or you enter them all in. That's up to you. Well, I let it harvest from Google, which was because I had all of my passwords in Google. But I'm like, if my Google account gets hacked, that'd be bad. Here's the other thing. Have you ever logged into a website where it says, do you want to log in using Google? Yeah, I never. Because great. So now they got Google, and now they also have access to Facebook. Or log in using Facebook. And I don't, because I don't have to. LastPass just fills in the fields, and then away you go. The thing about LastPass that's nice is it generates a password. It will automatically change passwords for you. That I've had mixed results with because some websites don't like it, but I like the auto-generation. That's great, and it'll be complete gibberish. And it'll remember it, so I don't have to. That's not uncommon. I have a spreadsheet. So, but yeah, my little brother said this is the way to go, and he says these are the ones that he sees: LastPass and Dashlane. And if you guys want, I can turn off the camera and I can show you LastPass. Well, it's up to you, but imagine that it would just work, and you just have them at your fingertips, and you could change them. And it tells you if it's weak, if it's vulnerable, it's free. There are paid versions that have a couple more bells and whistles, but I wouldn't have any use for it. Yeah. Sure. No, you go to Facebook. It says, oh, she's at Facebook. I got a password for Facebook. Bloop. It fills in. Yeah, but you don't have to enter it ever because you just logged out. So then when you log back in, it'll have username, password. They just magically fill. Or to make it even more interesting, let's say Google accounts. My kids all have Google accounts from the school. All of them do, because all the schools use Google accounts. They're EDU. So the NCLA.org is a Google account. So when you click on it, I scroll down through the 10 that I have on there, find mine, and it fills it in and goes. Same thing with Amazon. One. Yeah, you do. But that's why it's nice to use it on your phone. Because you just type it in once, then you can use your fingerprint, which is what I like. Well, it doesn't matter. I'm not an Apple guy. This is a cheap Moto G5, actually. It's pretty old. They're at 7s now, and this is a 5-year-old laptop, so it's okay. And then the next slide is just questions. Yeah. Well, Apple does a really good job. Apple, of all the phone worlds, Apple does a really good job. In fact, I can't even tell you why, but I know that Phil went to Apple's after he got to Honeywell, and he got a couple of the other engineers to switch to, because when Android is not as secure, I don't know what is the difference, but it's very difficult. Yeah, you heard something last year, and the FBI tried to get into a phone of a gangsters, and Apple wouldn't do it. Yeah. Right. Yeah. 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 What do you think I did? That's okay. I've never done it, and I don't know. This is where I turn into a curmudgeon like my dad and say, I've never done that, I don't trust it, I'm not doing it. In fact, we have members who will not do the online giving or the automatic draw because they say they don't trust it, so they will just give us a check. Do we care, Jan? No. That's fine. That's fine. Because it is a huge comfort thing. And there is there risk, I suppose? I mean, if you never do it, are you ever going to get hacked? Nope. I'm never even going to go near that. I'm just going to write out a check and give it to my church. It probably was legit, but I don't know. You could ask her, Mary. Sure. But, yeah, I would say just ask. Yeah, because she is very diligent, so she would respond. Yeah. Right. Sure. Yeah, right. And yeah, don't let anyone think less of you. If that, I mean, yeah. No, it does not. Any other questions? Otherwise, I'll show you what LastPass looks like in action. Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. I remember that. Yeah, I'm in Europe or Spain, and I'm stranded. I don't have money. That actually happened to a couple of our world missionaries because they got hacked, and they are overseas. I'm like, wait a second. Nah, that's not right. Our church body does a good job with our world missionaries, so you would never get that. But yeah, that's another one where I'm stranded, send me money. Or you're right. That'd be worse. I have kids, but I don't have grandkids yet. So. Yeah, right. Yeah, but by all means. Don't just believe it. Yeah. Right. No, no, no. Anybody can send you an email. And you can open it and you can look at it, but don't activate anything. Don't open any files. Don't click on any links. Yeah, yeah. I have way better Nigerian. I went through back like a month. I couldn't find any good ones. Once in a while, they're really good, like entertaining. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, when in doubt, call. Because they're constant. Like I say, on Sunday, I got another one. So. Oh, yeah. You can harvest logos so easily. Nice. Well, I do too. That's what I did. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for watching. I'm going to end the live stream, and then we'll go deeper into LastPass.